Zhao Hao saw Xiaofeng and observed at her for a long time before he was surprised and said, You are Xiaofeng? Like Charlie, Zhao Hao has never returned after leaving the orphanage when he was 18. At that time, Xiaofeng was only 13 or 14 years old, and she was still a yellow-haired girl, but now Xiaofeng has become a decent beauty, and the gap is still very obvious. Xiaofeng smiled and said, It's me, why are you so surprised? Zhao Hao laughed and said, It's really a big 18 woman. At that time, you were yellow and thin, and short. You looked like a tomboy every day. I didn't expect you to become so beautiful now. Xiaofeng replied shyly, Brother Zhao Hao, don't praise me. I have a sister-in-law here, I can't be considered pretty. As she said, she couldn't help but look at Claire, and the envy on her face was even more expressive. Zhao Hao smiled and said, Don't be so arrogant, you are also a beautiful woman out of a million. Xiaofeng was embarrassed not knowing how to speak, and suddenly received a call. She picked up the phone and listened, her face immediately became anxious, and she said to everyone, The owner of the restaurant called and said that the hotel's wiring was aging, and the power was skipped. It can't be repaired today, and it has to wait for tomorrow, so it can't be opened. Ha! Zhao Hao blurted out, Then we have to find another place. Xiaofeng said anxiously, Now it's time for dinner, I'm afraid it will be difficult to find a box temporarily. As soon as Charlie heard this, he was about to call Mr. Orville to ask if there were any boxes in Classic Mansion. At this time, a black Mercedes-Benz car stopped beside everyone. The window of the Mercedes-Benz car was lowered, and Charlie glanced at it and recognized the man driving. This person is Zhang Ming, who took the initiative to organize a gathering in the group today. However, Charlie didn't have much friendship with him. Zhang Ming was dressed in a suit and leather shoes with a slightly fat figure. When he saw the crowd, he stopped the car, poked his head out of the car, and said, Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone has been waiting for a long time. With that said, with an arrogant and complacent look between his eyebrows, he deliberately explained, Hey, there is a traffic jam on the road. It was delayed for a while, and I am late. Someone exclaimed and said, Zhang Ming, you all drive Mercedes-Benz? When did you buy it? Zhang Ming laughed and said, I just bought it 2 days ago. Charlie suddenly realized it. No wonder this guy was so active in organizing parties. It turned out to be showing off his childhood friends who just mentioned a new car and wanted to find him. At this time, someone asked, Zhang Ming, what model is this car? A lot of money, right? Zhang Ming smiled triumphantly, and pretended to be modest, and said, Oh, it's just a Mercedes-Benz E300L. It's not a good car, it's just over 500,000. Oh! Everyone exclaimed. Someone said, Oh, Zhang Ming, you are too good. You have only been out of society for a few years, so you can afford such an expensive car. Yeah, we are still taking the bus, and you are already on the big run. It's really more than human to throw away. That's more people to die than people to shop around. Oh, one meaning. To be honest, the children who come out of the orphanage are basically helpless people. Their starting point is much lower than most people. If others start from zero, then they start from negative. Up to now, most of the children who came out of the orphanage in the same period of the year are still struggling with food and clothing. They will not have any good jobs, let alone good opportunities, so everyone basically all are pretty poor. Except for Charlie and Zhang Ming, none of the other orphanage friends can afford a car. So when everyone saw Zhang Ming buying a Mercedes-Benz, they were very envious and admired. Zhang Ming smiled triumphantly, waved his hand and said, It's okay. It's all small money to me. It's not worth mentioning. As he said, he suddenly saw Charlie standing in the crowd. His face changed slightly. Unexpectedly, Charlie's rival was actually one step ahead of him. When he was in the orphanage, he looked down on people like Charlie, and wanted to teach Charlie many times, but because he couldn't beat him, he was finally repaired by Charlie. With the increase in frequency, Charlie has become his psychological shadow, and he still can't let go of it. He once thought that even if Charlie was able to fight when he was in the orphanage, as long as he entered society, people like Charlie would definitely get mixed up very miserably. After he glanced at Charlie's clothes, he couldn't help but sneered in his heart. He was dressed in miscellaneous goods, and he didn't know anything about it. However, when he saw Claire, his eyes lit up, and he was suddenly shocked. He has never seen such a beautiful woman in real life.